Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday tonight. I'm a little confused about dates. I've been away for about 5 days visiting family. I had a lovely time, but I'm back now, and so I think I'm kind of over being tired, kind of getting back into the swing of things. So tonight it's time for a technique night, and so I wanted to play with something that is brand new to Stampin' Up. It's coming from the memory keeping world, and they're called flip flaps. And so if you've never seen these, they are in the Stampin' Up! Scrapbooking brochure. But they're not just for scrapbooking, they can be used on cards too. So I'm going to make a flip flap card. You can make these without a flip flap, but they're kind of fun. I'm going to do a bit of a shaker card, a bit of a flip flap card, but these are a great new thing that if you've never seen them, you need to take a look at them. So let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. All right. If you have never seen flip flaps, I only have 3 sizes. I thought I had all 3 sizes in the scrapbooking brochure, which is only available digital at this point. So starting in the new catalog that comes out in May, can you believe it? I'm already talking about a new catalog. There will all of the what Stampin' Up! Has, with the exception of the online exclusives that only appear online, will be in the annual catalog, or in any catalog going forward. But for the moment, as they bring in new products related to the memory keeping line, the scrapbooking brochure is digital. And if you are looking for it, you can find it. There's always a link on my blog, or you can find it by going to memory keeping on my Stampin' Up! Store. But these are flip flaps, and they're kind of like our clear envelopes, a little more sturdy. They're more plasticky than the clear envelopes. They have a little adhesive strip on them. I'm just gonna flipping back and forth here because I can't see comments here. Let's just make sure that I can see comments that are coming in because I don't want to miss any. So if you are watching, let me know you're here. Let me know where you're coming in from. Okay, there we go. So these, as I said, they're plasticky. They have an adhesive strip. And what they're intended for on a scrapbook page, you can actually put them onto your scrapbook page. You could put more pictures into them. You could put ephemera if you've got tickets or other things that you've collected that you want to add to your scrapbook page. That's kind of where they started from. There are 4 sizes. I only have 3 of them. So there is a 3x3 size. There is a 4x3 size, and I think this one, there may be 2 different ways this goes, this way and then also this way. So that actually may be another package that I don't have. And then there's a 4x6 and there's a 4x4. So there may be another package of 4x4, and then there's maybe another orientation to this one, the 4x3. I'm going to use the 4x3 one today because it's kind of the perfect size for what I want. And like I said, they're intended for memory keeping, but I think you're going to see more and more cards and things created for them. Great idea for albums, if you're making mini albums. Hello, Sheila, welcome. Okay, so those are flip flaps, and like I said, if you've never seen the flip flaps, they are in the scrapbooking brochure. And I think people are going to miss them because it's not something you necessarily look at. And while you're in the scrapbooking brochure, don't forget to look at the amazing new scrapbook workshop kits, as well as there's some bundles in there you may not have noticed. Okay, so I am going to use the 4x3. Okay, so I've done a little bit of prep work. I'm going to use the birthday celebration bundle, as well as the paper from the Wildflower Birthdays. It's such pretty paper, specialty paper. Look at that gold shimmer to it. So I'm going to use this one that's pretty. It's got Night of Navy on it and peach pie and then bubble bath. And so that's kind of the card. Now this is what I'm thinking. I've already cut a piece of designer series paper to go into this flip flap. And so my idea is, these are called flap cards. I think you can use a magnet with them, or you can just use, let the flap kind of do the work of holding the card. And basically, this flap is going to come up and over to help hold the front of my card closed like that. So it actually will adhere underneath the piece of basic white that will go in the inside of my card. So I went ahead and cut for my flip flap. This is actually cut 3 inches by 3 1/4 because I wanted my designer series paper to go right to the edge. So when I first cut it, I cut it 3 by 4. And then I realized I needed just a little bit longer. So if you're going to do this, just make sure the one end, you might have to cut your designer series paper just a little bit wider than you think you need to. So like I said, I'm going to make a shaker card out of this. So let's get started on doing some of putting this together, and I'll tell you about the sizes. And we'll do some stamping. It's a pretty easy card actually once you have your pieces cut. So I've got a piece of Night of Navy. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I have scored it at 4 1/4. I was playing with it, just making sure this was going to work. And then we'll burnish that edge. And then I've got a piece of Peach Pie. I love Peach Pie and Night of Navy together. So this one, because it's got that peach pie in it. So my designer series paper is cut 3 3/4 by 5. And my peach pie is cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I'm just going to have just that peekaboo of peach pie showing. And then this piece is going to go on the front. So you get a little bit wider border around it than if I had cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's the front. Hey, Louise, welcome. Louise, did you get any? I think Daytona Beach is in Florida. Did you get any snow your way? I hope not. All right, so that's the piece that's going to fit over. That's my flap. We'll work on that in just a minute. And then I've cut, this is one of the dies from the birthday celebration. So that's going to go on here. But what I thought I would do is I was going to have a double flap. I'm not sure that that's what I'm going to do, but I'm thinking I don't need this full size. Hello. Gosh, lots of people here. Yeah, I'm getting back into the swing of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this flap. So it's going to be a double flap. So I'm actually going to score this. This is the banner from the birthday celebrations. So I'm just going to score that, and I'm going to make sure it's scored really well at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch from that edge. We just take and score, and then I'm going to make sure that this is really well burnished. Okay, so let's take, I'm going to have the stamp that says Make a Wish, and I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. So we're just going to take and stamp that. Okay, now I'm going to do this as a shaker card, and I've said that. So I've got my piece of designer series paper in here, and this is the Itty Bitty Bokeh mix, which is just perfect. It's got all sorts of really pretty colors, including the blues that are in my card. So I'm just going to take, so this is similar to the technique in making a shaker card where you have the use your medium clear envelope. And what I'm going to do, I should have done this. Oh, it's probably too late. I'm going to put as much of that back into my container as I can. And I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to take my designer series paper. Now I got this bokeh mix all over. But it's got a lot of static, so I'm going to run my embossing buddy over top of my designer series paper, and I'm just going to take and run my embossing buddy on the inside of my flip flap, just because I have a lot of static and it's going to make everything stick, which is not what I want. So hopefully this will solve. There we go. That's much better. Now some of these are quite thick, and so you have to just kind of watch some of the little, they're more like little embellishments than they are just kind of sequence. Now what I want to do is I am going to take, and I want to make sure that this isn't going to come out. So I'm going to take and just put some Stampin' Seal just on this edge. Hopefully it won't show too much, but I don't want my embellishments to start coming out. So we just got a little bit of Stampin' Seal, which is nice and clear. Except my paper is not fully stuck down. There we go. So it's not showing, which is good. And so now my sequence won't come out. So I've already cut a piece of the basic white. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping on that. I'm going to get my Bokeh mix all over the place. So I'm going to take the little garland and stamp that on the piece. So my piece of basic white is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to stamp that just across my bottom right corner. So I have something on the inside of my card. And before I glue that down, let's get some of the ink off. But I got a very sticky mat. Before I left, I was playing with embossing paste, and I think I've got some embossing paste. All right, so I want this to fold over like that. So I'm going to kind of keep that on the edge, and I intentionally have my tear off strip covering the adhesive, so it's going to adhere. It's on the back side when it's folded over, so you might have to think about that for just a little bit to figure out which way you want it, because if I had put my designer series paper in this way, I couldn't have folded that over. I guess I could have, but this way it's going to stick to the back of my card. If you do it the other way, which will work just fine, it will stick to the back of your basic white. So you do need to think about that, which way you're going to do it ahead of time, so that you know and get it going the right way. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to pretty much eyeball it. Oh, it's very sticky. So eyeball it, and it's very sticky. Okay, note to self, very sticky. And we're going to put this right along the edge, and if I don't have it exactly lined up, oh, that's okay. But now that's stuck down like that. Oh, not too bad, not exactly. But now you can see that that is stuck down to the back side of my envelope, or my back side of my card, or the inside of my card, like that. Flaps over, this flaps over, and then this goes over like that. And if you burnish this really well, if you can find your bone folder, you can take and burnish this. Let's get our sequence kind of away as much as possible. You can take and burnish this, and it should, there we go. Now it flaps over nicely. And my sequins are kind of moving around like I thought they would. And you know what I did after I managed to score that? I actually didn't put that under. So we're not going to do a double flap. But if you hadn't done that, so on your card when you go to make it, make sure you put this underneath as well, because now it's too late for me. So I am going to take and trim that score line off that I thought was going to be a double flap. We'll save that for another night. But on your card, don't forget to put your banner on that you've scored at 1/2 inch. Tuck it underneath before you adhere it on. Okay, so that's okay. And look at my card so my sequence is coming out. So make sure you get your stamp and seal. This is what I've had this issue with the cards you make with the clear envelopes. Make sure you get some adhesive on there. You could put double-sided tape, but make sure that's sealed nicely. I'm just going to make sure that, there we go, so that it doesn't come out. All right, so I'm going to take and I'm going to put my Make-A-Wish, and I'm going to line that up as if it was a double flap, but I'm going to use it dimensionals on here. It would have been really cool if I could have remembered to do it as a double flap. Got a bit of a rough edge that I'm just going to trim off with my scissors. There we go. So that will just line up with that edge. And now it's just a single flip-flap card. How easy was that? You don't even need anything more than that, but you could put some more embellishments on it if you wanted to. I could have done some stamping, but I'm going to just leave it like this. I am going to just take a couple of the itty-bitty bokeh mix that I have got all over my workspace, because I decided it was a good idea to try and pour them back in. So I'm just going to pick up some of these that I've got kind of sitting around and just put on the front of this banner. These are so fun. So they are part of the Beautiful Butterflies or the Beautiful Bokeh Sweet Butterflies, but they go very nicely with this Wildflower Birthday card. The ones that are part of this suite are called Party Dots, but this bokeh mix is perfect for shaker cards. All right, thank you for joining me tonight for my first night back in a week or so. It's been a while. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So again, that's a flip-flap card making the flip-flaps that are part of the memory keeping offering that Stampin' Up! Has. So take a look at that brochure. You might be surprised about what you can find in that brochure. And this is perfect for a shaker card or a flip-flap card, or I can't wait to see some of the albums that I know people are going to start making. Besides using them on their scrapbook pages, they're perfect for making some albums, and I can't wait to try that. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, I will be back live, kind of getting back into my regular swing of things. So I will be back live on Saturday at 11 and then Sunday at 12 noon. So hopefully you can join me then for a couple more projects. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel. Hey, Lena, welcome. That you'll get notified. If you are subscribed and you have notifications turned on, you will get notified when I go live, so you can just kind of hop on and watch.